Hello world, how are you doing? I hope your pandemic had been productive. Even if it isn't, don't worry. It is never too late to take a step towards your dreams. The fact that you are here to learn a new skill proves that. As one of my favorite quotes says, the illiterate of 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, relearn and unlearn. So, I am going to teach you Python from scratch in this tutorial series. Don't worry if you never coded anything before. I am making this as beginner friendly as I can. If you are someone who is migrating from other languages, this might be too slow for you. Also, I will be using terms like coding, code, programming and program interchangeably, and they all mean the same thing. Today, I will be starting by installing Python and you will be writing your first code. Extremely simple one though. Then, as we dive deeper, we will explore all the concepts related with Python until you have all the basics down. And then we will move on to more advanced stuff. Before we dive into today's content, I want you to know some important things. First, if you never coded a single line before, things can get overwhelming pretty quickly. You will be introduced to a lot of new concepts like operators, conditional statements, syntax, debugging, and it is hard to keep track of everything. I will try my best to avoid this and eliminate all the confusion. But everyone goes through this when they sit down to learn a new programming language. Yes, even the greatest programmer you know had gone through this. It took me 6 to 7 months to wrap my head around just the basics. It won't take you that long because I was 14 when I learned my first language. This is the point where most people quit programming. This will be the first hurdle in your journey. Don't be discouraged, it is just how things are. Do not give up, keep pushing. Eventually, you will get to a point where everything becomes way easier and it is closer than you think. It's like you are sitting in this roller coaster going up. Initially, it is very slow and little terrifying to be honest, but also exciting. Once it starts moving, it is as smooth as that sweet joyride. Of course, there will be challenges, but you will not struggle too much to understand and tackle them. Also, do not try to rush through basics. It is one of the biggest mistakes people make as a beginner. Take your time, don't move on to the next topic unless you are sure you understand the current one and keep practicing. Second, for the time being, completely ignore terms like Git, GitHub, Anaconda, Docker, Kaggle and virtual environments. They are very powerful tools, you will need them in the future, but not at this point in your journey. You are welcome to search about them. I myself planning on putting out videos explaining them. But those things are confusing for the beginner and they will make programming intimidating for you to learn. So best avoid them. You will know when you will need them and you will be in much better position to understand them. If you are curious, go ahead, but don't panic if you do not understand them. Third, there are bunch of softwares called IDEs like PyCharm, VS Code, Spider. What this software do is make programming a lot easier. They provide features like auto-completing your lines, automatically fixing small syntax errors, and a debugger, which is used to find where program is failing and trace the problem, which are hard to find by normal methods. Although IDEs are useful and make life easier, we will not be using them and I will encourage you to not use them. Why? Well, for starters, they are pretty heavy on your computer, especially if your hardware is 3 to 4 years old. But the main reason is you don't learn properly. I know people who cannot code without an IDE. It makes you dependent and I assure you, you don't want to be that guy. Features like autocomplete completes your line and fix small syntax error, and as a beginner, you won't realize those small things. Debugger walk you through the code and make it very easy to find errors. If everything is spoon-fed to you by an IDE, why will you bother to practice and understand heart and soul of Python or any other programming language for that matter? That's my point. You do not learn if you use an IDE in the beginning. They are for someone who is comfortable with the language and have at least intermediate level of skills. At the least, that is what I truly believe. Hence, we will not use an IDE. Instead, we will be using a text editor called Sublime Text and a command prompt or PowerShell. There is surely alternative options to Sublime Text like Atom Text Editor. You are welcome to choose anyone you like. You can even use Notepad to write all your programs if that's what you prefer. Fourth, and the last thing is that any programming language, whether it is C, C++, Java or Python, are tools that help you solve problems. Learning a programming language is not about typing something, getting good at it, and landing a job. They are all about solving problems. You can solve many problems using these tools. For example, if a mechanical engineer had no idea what is programming or what it can do and had not learned one, then softwares like AutoCAD, CATIA that make things like rapid prototyping, low-cost design iteration and innovative designs possible would never have been born. It does not matter what your background is. Even if you are an artist, learning a programming language never go to waste. Computers are all around us and it does not hurt to learn what exactly going into the background. Programming is basically a way of logical thinking. It teaches you how to think and how to approach a problem, which will help you in ways you can't even imagine. That's all I wanted you to know. Now, without any further jibber jabber, let's start. You have made one of the best decisions selecting Python as your first language. Python is the easiest and the most popular language, and now we are going to install it. Go to Google and search for download Python. Open the first link, and just so you know, this is Python's official website. Now click here to download current latest version, which is 3.9. This gets updated constantly, so if you are watching this video much later in time, this number will be different. Just download whatever is the latest. There won't be much difference anyway. Once it is downloaded, open the setup and you will see this setup window. Now make sure to check this box called Add Python 3.9 to Path and then click on Customize Installation. Make sure everything is checked here. Hit next, leave everything as it is, then click install and Python will install itself. After installation is complete, click disable path length limit, hit OK and close the setup. That's it. You have successfully installed Python. Go to Google and search for download Sublime Text 3. Open the first link. Click here on Windows 64-bit to download. After it is downloaded, open the setup, click next, then next and install. That's it. We are done with installing all the tools that we will be using. Now, since both of our tools are installed, you can see some software that come with Python installation. You can see them here in the start menu. This might be a little weird for you, but we will not use any of those because no one really uses them, so we won't waste our precious time learning them. Just keep watching video and I will tell you how to run your program a better way. First, what I am going to do is create a folder. I am going to create one on my desktop. You can create it anywhere you want. So right click, new folder, and I am going to name it Python lesson. It does not matter. You can name it whatever you want. Into the folder, I am going to create a blank text file. To do that, right click, select new and then text document. Again, you can name it whatever you want, but make sure there is no space in the name. You can use underscore instead. I am naming it first underscore program. Then as you can see this .txt at the end of the name, it is called as file type. We created a text document and .txt is short for text. We are going to change this to .py, where .py is a file type for Python programs, and to apply the changes, press enter. If for some case this .txt is not showing up in your computer, what you got to do is go up here, click on view, click this box called file name extension. Now it should show up. As you can see, if I uncheck this, that .py does not show up. So make sure this box is checked. Now double click on the file to open it. If this icon is not showing up in your case, then right click on the file, select open with, then select choose another app. Now look for Sublime text in the list, select it and check this box. Click OK. Now you can see this icon, and anytime you double click, our Sublime text tree will open your Python file. Once the file is open, type this as it is. Print, open brackets, inside the double quotation marks, hello world. Congratulations, you have written your first program. Save this file and minimize the window. Now we will run this program. To do that, hold down your shift key on keyboard and right click anywhere over the blank area and click on open PowerShell window here. Make sure you are pressing shift key while pressing right click, or this option will not show up. A blue window will open in front of you. Give it a minute, then type python space first program.py. Do not forget that last .py. What we are doing here is basically telling Python to run our file. When you are done with the typing, press enter. You can see hello world written on your screen. Now I want you to think what we just did. Specifically, focus on this line we typed. Go on, pause the video and think for a second what is happening here. You can try some stuff if you want to. Did you get it? Thing is, whatever we type in between this double quotation mark, it will get printed on the screen. So let's try putting our name in it. My name is Pushpak. You can try your own name. Save this file, come back to our blue window and again run it with python space first program.py, which also happen to be our file name. Press enter and there it is, your name printed on the screen. Let's go back to our editor. Now, what is this line doing? You can think of this print like some kind of software block, or let's call it magic block. You can give anything to this magic block. It will display the exact same thing on the display. So it takes some input and show it on the computer screen. Do not worry about how it does it. Print is a very useful magic block. We will find out all of its uses as we go ahead. Also, this magic block is called as function in a technical language. So that's it for today's video. I know we haven't done much fun stuff, but everything I talk at the start of the video is really important for you to understand. From the next video, we will be learning through Python and we will make some cool stuff in the next video. So stay tuned. Welcome to Extra Bits, where I give you some extra insight about the things we discussed in the video, and this will be so fast you can almost call it quick bits. Remember I said earlier that you can even use Notepad to write a program. Well, here's how to do it. Make a text file, convert it to the Python file, right click on the file and open it with Notepad. Now type print into the bracket, into the double quotation mark, whatever you want and save it. An alternative way to run a program is using command prompt. To open it, go to the address bar and type cmd and hit enter. Now run it with our usual command, which is python space your file name, and run it. If you love the video, a like will be super appreciated, and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future update. Also, if you have some question or doubt, feel free to comment it down. See you in the next video.